I thought I saw you on earlier.
Chairman, I'm here. What's going on?
You have slides, or what do you want to present? Or
Yeah, may I share my screen?
yep, you should.
Yep.
I think I set you up so you could share your screen. Yep, there you go.
All right, perfect. Do you see it?
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. So before I actually start, Jameer Sherman, I want to be like you when I grow up. You're like Black Superman in high school, man. Really proud of what you're doing. For those that don't know, Petersburg is in Virginia. I'm from Virginia as well. To the NKL, Virginia has something to say, and that's all I got to say. Hey there, everybody. My name is Hilton Cole. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about STEM and specifically some facts and cool things happening in the technology industry where I currently work. Hopefully by the end of the presentation, you'll be more knowledgeable about working in technology as a career choice. So before we jump into the meat and potatoes, just a little bit about myself. So just like a lot of you, I started as a Kappa leaguer a little under 10 years ago when I came out in 2011 at a high school. I understand a lot of what you're going through right now, and I'm doing my best to build a program in Dulles-Leesburg, Virginia, that's relatable and driven by youthful ideas and innovation. I attended and graduated at HBCU, Norfolk State University, got my MBA from the University of Maryland just a few months ago. This is my second year as a Guidewright chair, and then I work professionally as a data analyst over at MicroStrategy. So fun fact about me is that when I'm not working, when I'm not doing awesome stuff for Guidewright, I am a fanatic of fitness. I love playing video games, specifically RPGs and fighting games. And if you see the screen at the bottom, I have my gamer tag at the bottom. If you wanna try your hand and get beat. I'm also a part-time chef. You can also see a lot of my food on my Instagram account. So really a quick activity that I wanted to do. So on the left of the screen, you see an image of my phone. I took that a little bit earlier today. So,
excuse me, Brother Cole, could you speak up a little bit? I got some feedback. There were some people having a little trouble hearing you.
No problem at all. Can you guys hear me better now? I'm just moving my laptop closer.
Yep, that's good.
Okay, cool. That's better. I'm like, my screen is like right in my face. It's all right, good. All right, so on the left is a picture of my phone. So I wanted to know, let's do a group activity right now. What's on your phone? So what I want you guys to do is raise your hand or put the hand in the camera if the app comes up on the phone and you have it already installed on your phone. All right, so raise your hand if you see an app on the right side on your phone that's on your phone. Ready? So who has this app on their phone? What about this one? There we go.
You can see, you know, but,
I'm gonna try to cover them all. That bottom left one, y'all should delete that. Remember what the last brother said. Keep it in your pants. Shouldn't have Tinder. Anyway, this is just, hopefully you use one of these apps today. Today I'm gonna be talking about STEM, like I said, and then specifically around my industry and technology. Although what you'll find is that when you think about STEM, the lines between the different categories are actually pretty blurred, all right? So show and tell, here's some cool things that are happening in technology today. So we have extended reality where if I were to hold up my phone and I were to go outside and look at that building, I can see information about that building. If I were walking by McDonald's, for instance, I can see the reviews of that McDonald's, you know, right from my phone as I'm opening the camera app. You know, we have wearable technology. I have my little tracker. I'm not sure if any of you guys have a Fitbit or a smartwatch or whatever, but this is taking over the world too. It's not just watches, it's glasses, it's other wearable technology, anklets, shoes, all that. Self-driving cars, you guys should already know about. Virtual reality, indoor farming. There's a lot of empty skyscrapers in big areas like DC and New York and Philadelphia that are actually right now being converted using technology into indoor farms and then making food in less space under perfect conditions, you know, all governed by a computer. You know, we have smart homes and voice assistants. Anybody here have an Alexa device or a Google Home or a Siri? What was it, Apple Home? Everybody have one?
yeah.
All right. We have drone technology. So this is the laws and the technology is finally making it so that you and I, just common people like us, can have drones. For personal use, they're being used for delivery, they're being used in the military, they're also being used for gaming. Look out for drone tournaments, look it up on YouTube. I think you'll find a lot of cool stuff on there. And robotics, they're getting better. They're getting closer to ruling the world. Look out. So before coronavirus, I just took a little sample of some companies I could think of off the top of my head. So market capitalization, that is a very big word. I want you guys to learn today. Market capitalization, big word, but at the end of the day, all it means is just what's the total worth of that company. So you see the total worth of these companies, you see Apple, Uber, Zoom on the screen. This is all before coronavirus. This is what all of them were worth before the pandemic hit in December 2019 at the end of the last year. Okay, who wishes they had $1 billion? Raise your hand. Brothers, y'all should be raising your hand too. I want $1 billion. Who wants $1 trillion? Put it up here. That's what I'm talking about. So this is the net worth of a lot of the largest tech companies that are in the industry. And then what you see on the right of the screen is that if you look at the average salary of, if you add up all the technology employees that are in the American workforce, you see that they start and they keep a higher salary than most other industries when you average those out. Okay, you see those numbers on the right of the screen. All right, Rona hits. All right, so we've seen the pandemic devastate a lot of American business. We've seen, unfortunately, a lot of jobs go away. However, in the midst of the pandemic, what we've seen is a lot of the technology companies have gotten even richer. So we've seen Apple take a little jump, Google took a big jump, Amazon too. Zoom, if you look at on the right, from 16 billion to 72, almost 73 billion. That's huge. You know, that's really huge. So this is just a sample of a total worth of some of those companies and their jump. They were already growing strong prior to the virus, but now that business is being done completely digital, you know, instead of business travel, you know, we're doing Zoom or we're doing Google Meets. It's not in person anymore. A lot of things are going digital. That's going to be the future of American business and most likely global business as a whole. And we want you guys to have a slice of that pie and hopefully put the resources in front of you to make that happen. Okay. So a little bit of bad news. Unfortunately, if you look at the screen, there's a lot of industries that have filed for bankruptcy. So Hertz, rental car company, a couple gyms, 24-hour fitness, the gym I go to, I'm hoping that stays open for the long term. Is going under. Gold's Gym, California Pizza Kitchen, Neiman Marcus, I believe, is getting bought out by Saks, if I'm not mistaken. Chuck E. Cheese, the XFL, which I don't know if that's coronavirus related, but they had filed for bankruptcy, and then Modell's Sporting Goods. And then some industries on the right that are going to be struggling probably for the long haul are retail, hospitality and tourism, local banks and your local finance, your local tax advisor, arts and entertainment, and those that work in the transport industry, whether it's ground or specifically by air travel is going to be limited. So there's a lot of crazy stuff that's happening right now. We understand that not everyone is fortunate. There's been a lot of pain that's been generated by the virus. We completely get it. The world around us is changing, but I'm an optimist. I challenge you guys to think optimistically about everything that's going on right now. The world around us is changing, but it presents a new challenge for us to innovate and create the next world. You know, there's a lot of companies out there that have gotten a head start. And it looks like, you know, the crazy things that they were talking about, the building the future, are finally starting to pay off and look good now. And they're getting paid quite lucratively. You guys know what lucratively means?
Yes.
It means this. All right. So the future is being built right now by go-getters and dreamers, and it's up to us to make it happen. So 2050, 30 years from now, is probably going to look something like this. Maybe not. If you look at the guys on the right, these guys are trying. These guys are going to try to get as close as they possibly can. Can anybody tell me who this is right here?
Jeff Bezos.
That's right. What company does he run?
Amazon.
Who runs Amazon?
All right. What about this guy right here? I wish I could zoom in. I'm sorry. It's in presentation mode. Anybody?
Bill Gates.
Close. He does look a little bit like Bill Gates from the shot, but that's not him. This is Tim Cook. He's the CEO, the current CEO of Apple. So you guys have an iPhone right now. It's because of him. You guys know who this is?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Yep.
Mark Zuckerberg. You guys know what he does?
Facebook.
Facebook.
And Instagram.
Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. If you guys are familiar with Oculus, it's a little headset that you do for virtual reality. All that's him.
Mm-hmm.
This one's going to be a little bit of a challenge. You guys know who this
Kappa.
is?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Somebody tell me some of the crazy stuff that he's trying to do.
Yeah.
He's like trying to
Hey,
go to
Tyler,
Mars and try to
drop
build
Go to Mars.
civilization.
That's
He's
right.
the owner of SpaceX and Tesla.
Mhm.
SpaceX, Tesla, Solar City, the Boring Company. I challenge you to look all these companies up if you don't know. I think you're going to be really wowed out by the stuff that he's building. A little bit of a weirdo, but very, very, very strong businessman. I'd like to have a conversation with him one of these days.
Almost every innovator is a weirdo in his own way.
Hey, Kayvon, did I pronounce your name right? You are absolutely right. Can you say that one more time for me?
Yeah, almost every innovator is a weirdo in his own way. It's Kevon.
Every innovator is a weirdo, but we're not going to say weirdo here. We're going to say that they're so driven by their vision, they're so driven by their purpose that they're going to turn off a lot of people. And a lot of people aren't going to see the big picture until it's already too late and they're a billionaire and you're not. That's what Elon's doing. So life's all about solving problems, and if you can make money doing what you love and solving those problems, you've really found a sweet spot that a lot of people in their careers can't say that they have. You know, being able to solve problems, make a lot of money, and then have a lot of fun at the same time. And then being in the technology industry, you don't necessarily have to be an engineer. So obviously we do have software engineers that actually contribute to the code or contribute to the design or the research or whatever that it is to make that innovation, that technology, whatever that is, go. But you need people to sell it. You need customer support when something goes wrong. You need brand managers. I forgot the gentleman who gave the presentation 2 presentations ago about the value of a brand. That does mean something, especially in the age of social media and the cancel culture. All right, you need researchers. If you think you're awesome at doing book reports, we need you doing book reports on the latest and greatest technology and how we can monetize that and how we can make a profit off of that. Okay, what new technologies that we should be integrated? What new technologies should my business be adopting? Whatever that is. Graphic artists, if you like to draw, there's a lot of good money in graphic art. This is, let me go back a few slides right here. That is not real. Somebody drew that. Okay, somebody is drawing the brands and the icons and the models that all of these guys use, the websites and the application interfaces that these guys use for their business. You know, somebody drew all that. Imagine getting paid $1 million because you sold a trademark for Apple icon on a white background. Imagine that. All right. If you're good with money, you need financiers, and maybe you don't want to be in the technology industry. Maybe you want to be an investor. If I know all of you guys are going to be successful, when you guys get to your first million, okay, let me take half of my net worth and let me invest in something else that somebody's doing right now. If I were to invest in Amazon back in 1999 or 2000, the stock would have been $3 or $4 right now. These days it's hovering around 2000. Times how many stocks that you have, you'd be a very, very rich man if you got in back when Amazon was really cheap. So you need investors in the industry too. And then most importantly, you need visionaries, you need entrepreneurs. You know, a lot of the stuff that we have right now in terms of our phones, the apps that we use, you know, self-driving cars, a lot of the stuff I showed in the last slide, people would have laughed at you if you were to pitch that idea 20 years ago. But guess who's laughing now? The people on that last slide, okay? And then if you have an entrepreneurial spirit where you don't want to work in the tech industry, that's completely fine too. Everybody on that last slide that I showed is an entrepreneur. They got it from the ground up. And then what you find is that when you're innovating, And we're innovating in technology and you have the skills and the know-how to actually put it all together, what you find is that the cost of entry to get into that industry is really low if you have the skills versus getting into retail. If you want to be a fashion designer, you have to make a whole bunch of stuff and then ship it to a whole bunch of people and have a whole bunch of inventory and stuff moving in and out. You know, that's a very expensive operation to run. If you want to run an airline, good luck buying a plane, dude. Good luck buying one plane, let alone many. But technology, if you know how to code, or if you don't know how to code, if you just know how to sell an application, if you know how to preach the value of whatever that technology is, you can make a lot of money doing that as well. Let's break down some stigma. So these are not geeks right here. These are just images of what I thought people perceive the people that work in technology to look like. It's not necessarily like that. People that work in technology are real loose. They look like you and me. You see, this guy has a full-grown beard. This guy has a high-top fade. This guy has his tattoos. When I go to work sometimes, I don't always have my blazer on. I have a t-shirt on. I have my tattoos showing. And sometimes my rollie. I don't have a rollie. I will though, one day. It was really loose. So the technology bubble, or the employees that work in technology, we encourage a spirit of innovation. We're not necessarily worried about what you do or what you wear or how you present yourself, even though I do recommend that you present yourself professionally at all times. You know, we're more worried about the ideas that you bring to the table, and then your ability to execute and bring other people on board. So that's the end of my presentation. So what comes next? So as I understand it, here's my NKL challenge to you. As I understand it, STEM is still a really big thing that we're trying to pitch at a national level within GuideRight. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brother Chairman. But ask your local GuideRight chairman what their vision for STEM in your program is. They might not have anything in the next year or so because everything is kind of up in the air right now with planning. But if you're a freshman in high school right now and you're going to be, you know that you're going to be in Kappa League for 4 years, ask them, what are we doing about STEM? What are we doing to partner with other STEM organizations, or have somebody come speak to us, or whatever that is. In Dulles-Leesburg, we had just last year, we had somebody from Sony come in and talk to us about developing apps for the PlayStation Network, and that was a really fun workshop. So ask your GuideRight chairman about what we're doing in that space, what we're doing to create that interest around innovation and technology. Find a mentor, okay? Ask somebody in your local chapter. Ask somebody at your school. You know, ask your computer science teacher, whoever that it is, you know, find a mentor in that space and learn as much as you can. Just be a sponge to them. Any of those apps that, you know, we showed, going on to the next point, any of those apps that we showed on one of the previous screens, like really do some research on that parent company, how they got started, you know, what was their initial vision and where are they right now? And like understand what skills that they needed to start that company. And if you actually want to work for that company, whether it's Amazon or Facebook or any of these other companies that are innovating and creating new technology, you know, find out what it takes to work for that company. And then lastly, whether it's Friday or Saturday or on the weekend, you know, kick back, grab a glass of Kool-Aid and watch YouTube of the latest technology trends. Watch YouTube videos of what's happening. Watch videos of what Elon Musk is talking about, what Jeff Bezos is talking about, or Zuckerberg, or podcasts about what the future of society looks like, or the future of technology looks like, whatever. So with all of that, I bid you adieu. This is my contact information on the screen right here. Feel free to take screenshots. Feel free to text or call me at any given time. I'd be love to talk to any of you if you have any questions. And Brother Chairman, I'm not sure, we're a little bit over. Do I have time for Q&A now?
Yeah, go ahead and take some Q&A.
Okay, perfect. So let me end my presentation.
I'm trying to get your email.
Does anyone have any questions for Brother Cole?
Could you put the email back up? I was trying to check that.
Again.
Yeah.
All right, we good? Any questions? Yeah, go ahead.
So what was the most difficult part for you in your process in becoming where you are today? Yeah, like what's the most difficult thing you had to face?
I think the most difficult thing is what you guys might have missed earlier in the presentation because I was talking kind of fast, is that I started my career in liberal arts and just general business. My initial intent when I came out of high school was to be in the Secret Service or do something government related. I actually did that for 2 years, and I saw some stuff that happened behind the scenes that I'm not going to talk about today because I'm going to get in trouble. I'm in Northern Virginia, but point is, I had to kind of reinvent myself on the fly and learn a lot of this stuff without a formal college education. And it took a lot of work. It took a lot of like reskilling myself, but just by being curious, just by being open and being a sponge and talking to people, like I said, going to YouTube University or Google University and just researching whatever hot technology is out there, researching, somebody said in the last presentation, looking at the profiles of successful people that you want to emulate and just doing that. It was really tough, like really doing a 180 on my career. And then also, I will say that while technology is more diverse than most other industries, I will say that there's not so many Caucasians in my field as there is immigrants and first generation Middle Eastern people, Indians, Asians, Eastern Europeans. There's not many African Americans in my community. So a lot of times it feels lonely. So a lot of times I did feel like I was figuring out myself, or I didn't have anybody that could really be Hilton, like really be black. You know, a lot of times I had to really mask my speech, how I really speak. Because if I speak how I normally speak, like I talk to y'all, or when I talk to my boys, a lot of people that are fresh off the boat can't understand my English. So it forced me to like really, really be proper in my communication skills. And then to also learn how to work with different types of people who have a completely different culture. A lot of them, you know, they haven't been in America for 1 year. And, you know, these are my coworkers that I'm working with. So finding a way to lead them and relate to them so that we can all come together and have a exchange and a share of ideas, but then B, actually get work done, turning ideas into insight into action into results. Hopefully that answered your question.
It did. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Any other questions?